Hi, thank you for clicking on this video. I'm going to share with you the top 3 inkjet printers used to print transparencies in silk screen printing. All 3 are compatible with both Mac and PC. It's 2020, but the printers that will be presented here have been around from 2 to 5 years already. The reason is these are printers widely used by silk screen printers and tested to work well with transparent films. This does not include inkjet printing solutions that are at par with ImageSetter films in terms of imaging opacity. This will only include desktop inkjets that are commonly affordable and popularly used for indexed spot color separation. Note also that these are inkjet printers and no laser or toner-based printer included. Also, the printers presented here are on the same value level in terms of price. Which means, even if one printer has a higher price than the other, that's because it has more features. However, the price appeal must be judged on the functionality that we are focusing on, which is transparency printing on an A3 size. If you are planning to invest on a high-end inkjet to be used for high-quality halftone color separation, please leave your comment below so that I can suggest what to use. Here, the 3 inkjet printers are presented in order of popularity among the silk screen printers. However, based on my experience over the last 20 years in selling and supporting printing devices, what is famous is not always the right one for your business. You have to consider your budget, learning curve, services offered, availability of the hardware and consumables, and last but not the least is after-sales support. I handpicked one printer from each popular brand, namely Canon, HP, and Epson. Printer models are what is available in the Philippine region, so you need to check if the same model is available in your area and if not, what will be the equivalent model. The categories to be considered for the purpose of our quest are the following. Initial investment.
Many of you are watching this video because you will be investing on your first inkjet for silk screen printing. I will not leave you disappointed, that's why I included this, although you should not just base your decision on this aspect.
Maximum print area. We are looking at the A3 size category. Number of ink cartridges, the fewer the better.
Although we are only printing black, other color cartridges are also being used to achieve a high-density black. The fewer the number of cartridges, the lesser the estimated cost per page. Also, most printers will not print if one cartridge is empty. Lesser ink cartridges means lesser downtime for you if you run out of spare ink.
Working space, footprint needed to operate the printer.
Most of us have limited space, or want to carry the printer around several rooms or locations. If that is the case, compactness and portability will be a big factor.
Consistent quality, with focus on black ink density.
Once we have achieved the optimal setting of our printer to print the darkest black, that printer should print the same black density all the time. Consistency will depend on accuracy of the transport system, ink and media compatibility, ink flow, software driver algorithm, and print resolution.
Cost per page.
Cost per page is computed based on cost of all ink cartridges divided by the average page yield. Please note that this will be computed on standard ink cartridges, although these printers have extended, XL, or high-yield cartridge options.
And last, life cycle or estimated lifespan of the printer with its published monthly page volume.
Inkjet printers have longevity of 3 to 5 years. Lifespan is estimated from published monthly duty cycle. The longer the lifespan, means better return of investment or lesser maintenance cost.
Let's get started. But first, let me tell you that you've got to finish up to the end of the video because it doesn't end up with what printer you're going to use. There will be additional tips on how you can get the optimal black density from these printers. By the way, the cost per page is ink cost only with 40% to 60% ink coverage on an A3 size. Here is the side-by-side comparison of strengths and weaknesses. The Pixma X6820 is the most affordable and the biggest drawback of this printer is the fact that it uses 5 cartridges. Although this is good if we are printing color, but a disadvantage if we are only concerned with the black density. It means you have to keep more spares, no stock, more downtime. This also affects the cost per page in terms of ink consumption, aside from the fact that this is a low-throughput printer as compared with the other two. Perhaps you can neutralize this if you can discover the perfect third-party ink and media combination with this printer. Epson WF7211 or WF7210, depending on which area of the globe you are, can assure you instant quality without much trial and error because you can find transparent media specifically compatible with the Epson Durabright ink. Now, this is a big advantage in terms of end result quality because normally you can search for transparent media labeled Inkjet compatible, which is less specific than finding a media which is 100% compatible with your printer. For good quality prints, do not try to substitute cheaper inks that are compatible with your printer, but try to find media that are specifically compatible with your printer's ink. Printing with consistent quality is a big factor as it not only ensures that you have decent prints, but also that your printer works in all desirable conditions, prolonging the lifespan.
This printer is not as flexible like the Canon and HP printers. Sure, you may find third-party compatible inks, but you are at a greater risk of messing up the device prematurely. The best thing I like with the HP OfficeJet Pro 7740 is it has a PostScript driver. This means that you can print color separations directly from Adobe Illustrator or Photoshop without the hassle of manually prepping your artwork. This can only be found on professional expensive large format printers, which means you get more than what you paid for, and best of all, this printer has the lowest cost per page. However, this printer can only print up to A3 size only. Not much known knowledge about this printer in the silk screen application, so you'll have to spend more time finding the perfect settings. Higher learning curve needed, you have to explore to adore this one.
If you are a beginner and want to get started immediately without trial and error, I would recommend the Epson WF7211. You can't go wrong because you can have consumables that are optimized to get the best results, readily available. On the other hand, you might find a gem with the HP OfficeJet Pro 7740 if you have spare time experimenting with different transparency media. This will not only give you consistent prints of quality, but the equipment could serve you for a longer period of time. If you're on a tight budget and you need to earn first before you spend more, Canon Pixma is the one you're looking for. Thank you for tuning in, and as promised, here are some helpful tips. All the best. And happy printing!